What's going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T 3285. And I wasn't planning on making a video today, but one of the stories that just broke out in an interview on WFAN, conducted by Schoen from Tiki and Tyranny, clearly states that by the end of this week, we should know the situation with what's going on with James Bradberry. Now, the beat reporters have all been saying this entire week that they think that the resolution will ultimately be James Bradberry's release because the New York Giants won't have the money to try to be able to keep him because his contract is too high, and that maybe they don't want to renegotiate his contract and extend it because of the fact that he is 28, going to be 29 years old, and they might not want to have an aging corner on their team and might want to try out some of the younger corners that are currently on the roster. Whereas most of the fan base is believing that the New York Giants will find a way to keep James Bradberry around, especially with the competition, not only in the NFC East, but in the NFL in general, is starting to get more sturdy with some wide receiver tandems, triplets, etc. starting to pair up. Namely in Philadelphia with the Eagles trading for A.J. Brown to already go with a very good young receiver in Devonta Smith, and maybe it might be the best idea for James Bradberry to stay with the Giants and to find a way to negotiate to keep him. Now, in this whole situation, I really don't know on the whole. I really have no indication on which way that this team might go. In my heart of hearts, and I'm going to speak from my heart, and I'm just saying this is my heart as a Giant fan, I believe the Giants, like most of the fan base, will try to find a way to keep James Bradberry because he still is an asset to this team, not only in the locker room, but also on the field, his play, his veteran leadership, and the fact that he can be able to teach some of these young cornerbacks that are currently on the roster, like a Rodarius Williams and Aaron Robinson, and also the young rookie we just picked up from LSU, Cordero Flott, and also Evans as well from LSU, that he could teach some of these young kids the ropes in the NFL. But at the same time, my head is also thinking that James Bradberry is an older veteran cornerback, and maybe he doesn't want to renegotiate his deal and would rather take his chances on the free agent market and try to lock down signing with the team that's possibly in Super Bowl contention. So that's why I'm thinking I'm like on the fence with both sides. Whereas my head is thinking that James Bradberry is probably not going to be a New York Giant by the end of this week, but my heart keeps tugging on me and says that they'll find a way to keep him. But by the end of the week, we should know a resolution on the James Bradberry situation. Now, the other reason why, and this is just something that I'm sick and tired of hearing from the media, from everybody. I'm sick and tired of the bashing, the constant talk, and everything negative about Daniel Jones, and the fact that Daniel Jeremiah, in his report yesterday, thinks the New York Giants should go out there and trade for Baker Mayfield. Are you nuts? Have you seen what Baker Mayfield had to work with in Cleveland? He had a good offensive line, one of the best in the league last year, a very good running back tandem, some of the best wide receiver core in the league, and also Kevin Stefanski running the offense, who was one of the best offensive coordinators at the time in the NFL and head coaches. And he still couldn't get it done. I know he was working with two injured shoulders. I know he had two torn rotator cuffs in his shoulders, and of course that's going to hamper any quarterback. But at the same time, he had all these things to work with, and he still didn't get the job done. Now, I know Daniel Jones. There's a lot of people out there that are sometimes just deluded in the head where they think that Daniel Jones is like the greatest quarterback and that he can be salvaged with the new system that's out there. And then there's those Daniel Jones people that just can't stand the guy and just really hope that he just gets the hell off the field, he fails miserably, so they can just get him out of here after this year. And they just can go out there and replace him in the offseason. Now, I'm one of those people that's in the middle. I don't hate Daniel Jones. I was confused at first, like many other fans, about the pick we made in 2019 at number 6 overall. But at the same time, this kid has talent. He has flashed talent, and he's flashed abilities to be a very good quarterback in this league. But at the same time, he's made some mind-numbing mistakes. He has issues locking onto one receiver at times. He has fumbling issues, and he sometimes is indecisive in the pocket. Plus, he has had an assortment of injuries in his first few years in the league. So I'm plainly on the fence in this whole situation. But Daniel Jones, like I have said a million times, whether it's to other people, whether it's from the media, I believe Daniel Jones gets this year in 2022, to prove himself with a much better coaching system, with a much better offensive line that we built together with the players we brought in the draft and the free agency, as well as healthy playmakers, including a couple of additions we made. And hopefully a healthy Saquon Barkley, because I believe Barkley is a big key in trying to get the most out of Daniel Jones. So at the same time, I'm on the fence. I'm not one of those people that thinks Daniel Jones is all of a sudden going to turn into Patrick Mahomes because he's got a new scheme, because he's got his playmakers back, because the offensive line is better. But at the same time, I don't believe Daniel Jones is absolute straight up trash. That is ridiculous. I'm giving Daniel Jones, like some other fans out there, like some of my buddies in the Big Blue Crew have said, I'm giving Daniel Jones 2022 to show what he's got, stay healthy on the field, and prove to not only this New York Giants fan base, but to the front office, to the coaching staff, to his own players in there, who all friggin' love him because of how tough he is and because how dedicated he is, which is why, one of the reasons why I'm rooting for this kid as much as anybody, including Barkley too, but especially Daniel Jones. So he's got this year to prove it. That's it. Daniel Jones has got 2022 to stay healthy and go out there and prove what he's got in the NFL. If he gets it done, you could franchise him and bring him back. But if he doesn't, he's gone. Plain and simple. He could even be gone if he has a pretty good season, because they might decide he's not even the quarterback on this team and they might go another direction. They could decide that Daniel Jones, even though he had a good season, he's not the guy that they want in this system. He's not the guy they want to move forward with, and they could franchise and trade him if need be, and pick their young quarterback in the draft. So, this is how I feel. Give the kid a shot, a legit shot in 2022 to see what he's going to do. Enough bashing in the media, enough with trading for this guy, signing that guy, jettisoning this kid off, okay? The coaching staff is giving him this opportunity. They're sticking behind him. So just deal with it. For the people that hate Daniel Jones or dislike him and don't want him on this team anymore, too bad. He's staying. Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback of the New York Football Giants in 2022, whether you like it or not. And the best thing for you to do right now is get behind him and root for him and hope he succeeds, because if he succeeds, half the problem is solved. And we don't have to worry about going into the next offseason and the draft looking for another quarterback, because we already have ours on the roster. And that goes for anybody else on this team right now that has the shot to be here long term, that wasn't part of this Schoen and Dable regime right now. So that's just all I have to say right now. Give Daniel Jones the legit opportunity to see what he could do in 2022. I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of hearing it in the media and from everybody else. The kid is going to get his chance this year. That's it. If he succeeds, he's here possibly for another year. If he fails, they move on from him and they go get their future quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft. And in terms of James Bradberry, who the hell really knows what's happening behind the scenes? Maybe they decide that James Bradberry, they could find a way to negotiate and keep him. Or maybe James Bradberry would rather take his chances, get the release, instead of negotiating a new deal with the Giants, and play elsewhere and try to see if he can maybe win a championship with another team that's close to a Super Bowl. So we really don't know, but we're going to find out by the end of the week. So that's just my video that I wanted to give on Daniel Jones and sometimes his perception out there with fans, certain fans, and the media and everybody. And also with the James Bradberry situation, that we'll finally have a resolution to this by the end of the week. So if you like what you hear in this video, please hit the like button on the bottom. Leave a comment below on how you feel the James Bradberry situation will be resolved, and what your feelings are, your true feelings on how Daniel Jones is going to do this year with the new scheme, a better offensive line, hopefully healthy playmakers, and Saquon Barkley back in the backfield. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's go New York Giants. Let's hope that Daniel Jones can go out there and play better than some of these fans have thought he could play, and he could be better than most expected, and that maybe James Bradberry will be here in 2022 and possibly beyond. Have a great rest of your day, and let's go New York Football Giants.